If you've ever built or if you use agent skills with Claude or Claude Code, then you're already like 99% of the way there when it comes to using these same agent skills in Google Antigravity. And in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly what needs to change, and it's really less than you probably think. So for some quick context, Google has just released support for agent skills inside of Antigravity, which is Google's AI coding platform, similar to Cursor, similar to, VS Code with Claude Code, or similar to, any of these other AI, coding agent tools. But everybody's talking about it like it's a brand new thing. You're seeing it all over the place, skills inside of Antigravity. But this is really just the result of Anthropic open sourcing, this entire practice of using agent skills. So if you've been already building these inside of Claude Code, you already know how to do this, and it's actually very easy to transfer your skills over into Google Antigravity. Now, this acceptance and adoption of the practice of using agent skills is really good for us users when it comes to professional non-development work. A lot of what you hear about is the coding skills, development skills, but these skills are incredibly powerful for content creation, for marketing, for any type of writing workflows. So now that we see all of these platforms coming together and sort of consolidating around this practice of agent skills, it makes it super easy for us to bounce around different tools, whatever the best one might be, without having to completely restructure our writing systems and content creation systems every single time. All right. So the real reality is that the skills in Claude Code and now Google Antigravity are pretty much exactly the same. They follow the same folder structure, which is what you could see here. We have the documentation opened up for Antigravity skills. So you can see it follows the same exact structure that we are used to with Claude Code, which is just a skills folder, and inside the skills folder is a skill.md file. The main difference, literally the only main difference that we're going to see here is that when you're putting this inside of Antigravity, you're going to put it in a .agent folder, and when we use Claude, we put it in a .claude folder. So that's really the only difference. Every skill follows the same formatting. So we have the name in the description, and then the skill, and then you could see the skill folder structure is going to look like this. We have the .agent, we have the subfolder of skills, and then there we have another subfolder of the actual skill. You can have the skill.md file, which is your main required instructions, which we're already familiar with. You could also have a scripts folder, examples folder, resources folder. This is the same thing we have with Claude Code when it comes to like resources and these other reference folders inside of the actual skill folder. Now, looking at Google's own documentation for how the Antigravity agent uses the skills, it follows a progressive disclosure pattern, meaning when the conversation starts, the agent is automatically going to see a list of the available skills that you have in there with their names and descriptions. Then it's going to look for any that are relevant to your task, activate it, read the full content, and then execute it based off of those instructions. Same thing we have with Claude Code here. Claude Code will go look at all of your skills, look at the names and descriptions, and then autonomously invoke the skill when needed. So same idea here. So I've been using Claude Code skills for months now inside of my co-writer system, and it is pretty much the foundation of my co-writer system, along with the Claude.md file and my sub agents. So what I want to show you is a quick peek inside of my co-writer system inside of Claude Code, and then we're going to take these skills and put them in Antigravity. So right now we're looking at VS Code with Claude Code extension, and here in my co-writer system, you can see that I have my skills folder and I have all of my skills here. These are the main ones I'm using here. I have a lot more installed on my user level, like the official ones from Anthropic, but these are all my custom ones that I have installed in my project. Things like a business profile creator, content extraction. I have a ghostwriter that will write my voice. This is my new way, my new method of basically putting voice DNA in my writer system, how-to guides, LinkedIn posts, profile optimizer, sales email sequences, etc. So what I'm literally going to do, just for you to have an idea of how easy this is I'm literally going to copy this entire skills folder, and I'm going to take this over into Antigravity. So I'm going to copy this here, And now we're going to go to Google Antigravity here. I have nothing opened up here. You're gonna install it if you haven't before. It's super easy. Go look for Google Antigravity. You're gonna sign in with Google here, and I'm gonna open a folder. But this time I'm just gonna create a fresh new folder here. I'm gonna call it like co-writer. All right, I'm gonna create this folder, open it. Now we have a blank, fresh folder inside of Antigravity. We have the Antigravity agent here on the right where we could choose our model. And then we have the, where we could view our files and then our folder here. So there's nothing here. So the first thing we need to do to give Antigravity access to our Claude skills, which are now we're just going to refer to them as agent skills because they're not platform specific, is we're going to create a folder in here. And this folder needs to be .agent. All right, and then inside of this folder, we need our skill subfolder. So I'm just going to paste the one that we copied over. You can see now all my skills from Claude inside of here, and I'm going to put this inside of there. All right. So now we literally have our agent folder with all of our skills inside of here. For example, you could take a look at, let's say, this content extraction one. We have the skill file here. We could see it. Same idea here. Content extraction extracts content ideas from long-form content, and it's the detailed instructions that I've covered over and over again on both on this YouTube channel, my Substack newsletter, everywhere that I teach, co-writing with AI. Skills have just become like a major and pretty much main part of the entire system. So now let's test out these skills to see how they get invoked by themselves with the agent here. So on the right side, we're going to choose Gemini 3. We're going to choose fast. And the skill I want to test out here is a Substack notes skill. So I have a skill that I created based off of my my high-performing Substack notes, and I want to use this to create other ones. So a lot of times I like to take a transcript of a YouTube video or a article I write or just notes, voice notes I have, and run it through this skill to create high-performing Substack notes. If you're not on Substack by now, you should be. I really think it's like one of the social medias of the future. There is a lot of potential there, so you should be there. Now, what I'm going to do is open this up in a preview mode just so we can look through what the note is. So we have the skill. The skill generates high-performing Substack notes by applying proven structural patterns and psychological techniques while maintaining your unique voice through context profiles. The skill uses structural patterns and psychology that have been proven to work, expressed in your authentic voice. We tell it when to activate when we have the different instructions here. So we're going to go onto my YouTube and grab a transcript to test this out. So I just went to YouTube. I found my most recent video, which is a free 30-minute mini course on the new Claude Code. And I'm just going to take this transcript here of the video really quickly. We're going to grab the entire transcript, all right, of this 30-minute video. And we're going to take this back over to Antigravity, and we're going to tell it, let's try not to even tell it to invoke its Substack note skill and see if it can do it by itself. So I'm going to tell it, hey, take this transcript of my latest YouTube video and create 10 Substack notes based off of it. Then I'm just going to paste this. Of course, if this was my real co-writer system, I would have already had the transcript here and I could just point it towards that in my files, but I just created this fresh new folder, so I just pasted the transcript in here. So you can see how this works here. It is going to examine its skills, and you can see it automatically analyzed and invoked the let's let it calm down here. Let's move it all over the place. It autonomously invoked the Substack note skill. So if you click it here, you can see that it used the Substack note skill. Then it tells us, based on your latest video transcript about Claude Code, I've created 10 Substack notes using the high-performing structure from your Substack note skills. I've matched each insight to the specific note type that frames it best. And then we have 10 different notes here based off of that actual skill. So it worked perfectly, it worked really quickly, and it's just proof that you can literally take any agent skill that you created for Claude Code and now put this right into Antigravity, and it's going to work right away without having to change anything. All right, so now that we know that these, any type of Claude skill that you have can also work inside of Antigravity, I want to try something else out. And what I want to do is try to create a skill creator skill, or, a skill to create other skills, but specifically for anti-gravity. We already had one for Claude, official one from Anthropic. So my idea, and I haven't tried it yet, so we're going to try it right now, but my idea is to take that one and pair it with the new documentation from Google's anti-gravity, and try to use our agent to do that. So let's try that out right now. So what I'm going to do is come over here to Anthropic's official repository of their official skills. And when you get over here, you can click on their skills folder, and you can see we have all of these official skills here now. So first thing we can do is we can literally take every single one of these and put them inside of our anti-gravity system now, and we're going to have the same access that we had with Claude. So of course you can export all of these on GitHub and put them all in here, but we can also just look at which ones we would want. So, maybe we would want, for example, this front-end design one, which is super popular for Claude. You could click on that. You could look at the skill now. We have this skill for creating distinctive production-grade front-end interfaces. This is one of my favorite skills. I use it all the time with Claude Code to do landing pages, presentations, all sorts of stuff like that. And we could literally take this now and just click here on the code on GitHub, and you could see that we have the same structure here. So you could literally take this, copy it, come back over into anti-gravity, create a new folder inside of skills. We're going to call it front-end design, and then you would need to follow the same structure. You would put the new skill file in here. We'll say skill.md, and then you would paste this in here. So same idea there, save it. And now we literally have a front-end design skill straight up from Claude's official skills, okay? But what I really am interested in here is this skill right here, which is the skill creator. So this is Anthropic's official skill for creating other skills. And I'm going to take this, same idea here. I'm going to take the code here, and I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go into anti-gravity. I'm going to start a new chat here, and I'm going to tell it, hey, I want you to take a look at this official skill creator skill from Anthropic. And then what I want you to do is rewrite it so that it functions with our anti-gravity system here. So I'm giving you the full skill, and then I'm giving you Google's anti-gravity documentation for creating skills. All right, let's put that in there. All right, so my voice dictation started acting weird, but I went ahead and redid it and told it to take a look at anti-gravity's documentation for skills, and then take a look at this official skill creator from Anthropic and rewrite it just so that it fits in our system here in case it needs to change anything. And we're going to send that. I'm not even 100% positive. You might just be able to take this exact creator skill from Anthropic and put it in here. You might not even have to create a fully new one. So if you've done that, drop it in the comments below. But I'm going to try to give, anti-gravity the chance to rewrite it in case we need to, make anything a bit more specific for this documentation. So we're going to let that run for a minute and see what it does. All right, so after about a minute or two, it finished up and everything looks good. You can see here on the bottom right, the agent's telling us that the skill creator skill has been successfully adapted and created in your workspace. I've rewritten the content that of the original Anthropic one with the anti-gravity system, including terminology. It replaced references to Claude and Anthropic specific tools with anti-gravity in generalized agent terminology. It replaced the script-based initialization with manual creation steps, and it confirmed and standardized that directory structure to match our existing skills. All right, so here we now have it on the left in our entire agent folder. We have the skill creator skill.md file, and this is a guide for creating effective skills in anti-gravity. This skill should be used when users want to create a new skill or update an existing skill that extends anti-gravity's capabilities with specialized knowledge, workflows, or tool integration. So just like that, we now have a skill creator skill. So if you see a lot of stuff out there about, trying to, if you think you need to relearn all of these different, skills, for anti-gravity, it's not the case. If you already have experience doing this with Claude, it's super easy. So that is really what I wanted to show you all today. Now, before closing this out, while this video is kind of specifically about porting your individual skills into Antigravity, the real power is a full system. The real power is, having your agents, having your context profiles, having all your different skills, your entire knowledge base in here of content and material all working together. So I'll be building out a deeper, like masterclass on building your co-writer system and in Antigravity. I know a lot of people have asked me about that. I have other masterclasses on building your co-writer inside of Claude Code and, these different platforms, but I've never covered Antigravity, and a lot of you are asking that. So we will definitely cover that. With that said, I've been working on this for about a day or two, really experimenting with it, and I will not be, moving over my personal writing system in the Antigravity. I still think Claude Code is like far superior. It works way better. I can have all my different sub agents, all my different skills. My entire system is built out in there. It just seems to function better over these past, 48 hours. Messing around inside of Antigravity, I've run into a lot of bugs. Things don't work as smooth, just a lot of problems that Google, I just don't have much faith in them fixing it. With that said, if you do use it, it is exciting. You can build out a really effective and good co-writer system in there, and I know a lot of you prefer it. So we will definitely, be covering this more as time goes on, and keep a lookout for that next masterclass on building your co-writer here in Antigravity. And as always, if you want some of these assets I use in my writing systems, subscribe to my Substack where you can find a lot of them. And I also have a co-writer system, which is an exclusive membership platform and training start to finish for building out an intense co-writer inside of Claude Code. I have my own platform and marketplace of skills that I developed myself. So also check that out below. And if you have any questions, as always, drop them in the comments and I will be happy to answer them.